This is just a funny video, man, I saw, man, but I thought it was interesting, man. It was hilarious. I mean, this might have been one of the funniest videos
The title
I've
funny
seen
already.
in a long, man. It's funny, bro. It's funny. But I got a good question with it. We won't harp on it too long, but the video is hilarious. So I got a question on it, and we'll rock with it, man, for the last one for this evening.
Do it.
For sure.
New study out today that says women become unhappy as they get older. Well, the flip side, men get happier as life goes on. Now, the researchers, a couple of economists, by the way, they say it happens when we each turn 48. And of the major factors coming down, it's all about money. Now, what's that all about? Tracy, is this true?
Come on.
Come on.
All right, first of all,
Don't get me
Mark,
started.
I know you've missed me, Mark. First of all, this study was conducted by mostly men. And when men conduct anything, they talk about their finances because men judge themselves by the size of their wallet. Toys, dare I say. So, you put all your toys together in a parking lot and it makes you happy. If they were to ask other questions in this study about spirituality, about the other aspects of our lives, that women would have taken over. I mean, first of all, a woman hits her sexual prime at 35. Things get much better for us.
Hey, I'm 35. This is good for me. All right, Mark, all right, go nuts, because I know you're going to go nuts.
Well, first of all, you're presuming that unhappiness in women begins in middle age. I'd say it starts when she's a little girl, when she's taught that happiness derives from shoes, jewelry, boob jobs, and pedestals. And what's interesting, come on, Alexis, and then you have boys who are taught that they're supposed to make girls happy. I was on the radio 2 weeks ago in Greensboro, North Carolina, and the host related a story. He overheard his son and daughter talking. So brother goes to sister and says, "How come you always have money and I don't?" And she says, "That's simple. I have a boyfriend and you have a girlfriend." The fact of the matter is, boys are taught that they're supposed to make women happy.
No, he's actually living in the dark ages.
There's that.
I'm not living in the dark ages. This is reality. And if either of you women has ever dated women, you would know what I'm talking about. But you pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, Mark,
so what's happening in middle age? What's happening in middle age here is that women who bring 70% of divorces are divorcing the men that they never wanted to marry to begin with, and so now that's what's making the men happy.
That's interesting because we control the household spending, don't we? Because we're working more than ever.
Well, I just think this whole notion of basing your happiness on material goods is part of the problem, hence part of the reason that this thing was run by men in the first place. If there were women on the panel,
Tracy.
If there were women on the panel, they would, ask any woman if she would choose her car over her children, and she'd take the kids any day, whereas I would question a lot of men out there, quite frankly.
Tracy, I can't believe what I just heard you say. There's a reason that
women live longer, Mark. Let me tell you. It is because we are stronger and we are happier at the end of the day than most men, and that is factual, and you know it.
When men are married to women who scream like you, they just want to die sooner. When you have women going around,
You're divorced.
Tracy,
She left you. Let's put
Tracy,
that on the table if you want to play this game.
Tracy,
Yes.
when women go around comparing their engagement rings to show off who got the most carats,
Oh, I don't know where you
tell me
find
that
these
women don't compete.
Mark, I don't know
tell
where
me
you
that
find
women
these
don't
women. The
compete
women
on
I know
material
do not
possessions.
care about that kind of stuff. Mark,
All right,
you gotta
Mark,
get out more.
Women compete on houses, divorce settlements, carrots, country clubs. Women compete on money all the time.
Hold up, let's not forget about the BBLs either.
Men are taught that they have to make women happy. The fact of the matter is, you can't make anybody happy. You have to make yourself happy. Happiness is a byproduct of achievement. So for women to say that they're unhappy, it's their own fault. Anybody who says he's unhappy, it's his own fault.
Mark,
Everybody has to make himself or herself
You're giving me
happy.
such a bloody headache.
Yeah, I mean,
where are you from? Where are you from? Dear Lord, I would never in a million years teach my girls that they have to grow up to be reliant on a man, as you can well imagine. I would never teach my son that he should be attracted.
But Tracy, you're the same one. You're the same one who bragged that she's so strong and so tough and doesn't need a man's money. Yet you're taking alimony.
I have 3 children.
Okay, Mark.
You know what?
So, but you don't need a man's money.
All right, but that's it. That's it.
Never in a million years teach my girls that they have to grow up to be reliant on a man.
She capped.
This whole thing was cap.
She big cap, bro. I wrote down a couple things I wanted to call her out on. Like,
Man, that was I think Man, I was tripping the first time I heard that song. That's the first time. I think it was an older. As y'all see, it was a little
I
bit
seen
older.
that before. I seen
Yeah.
that somewhere
So
before.
this is first off. I like how he at least stood up and at least said something back. Usually, men would just sit there and be like, "Yeah, you're right." At least he had the balls to at least try to talk back. So I
Yeah.
like that part of it. At least trying to have some kind of pushback, especially when you're on live TV like that. But kind of the question with this one was a little bit out there. Kind of the premise was, yeah, I think that as we get older, do you think become more happier, or do you think women become more happier? Just kind of like a fun topic to throw in the algorithm. What y'all think?
The older I get, the happier I'm getting. So I can speak for myself and for I guess some men. Like as I'm getting older, I don't really know what happiness is for real, because I'm never content
Mhm.
with shit. But I'm generally happy as I'm getting older. Happier as I'm getting older.
I can see that. I can see that. But as a whole, do you think? I mean, from nobody has a statistic. You can't have a statistic on this because I mean, it's impossible. I guess it's on your worldview and guess what you
I
see.
I
Do
think men in general are happier. Men in general are happier as they get
you think
older.
men are a little more happy as they get older, like 40, 50 years old, all
Yeah,
that?
yeah, because
Okay, from
they're
your yeah,
by that age, like you can see the old heads around us. You know, they're happy with who they are. They accept who they are, even with all their flaws. They know their shortcomings, but they accept it all, and they can
uh huh.
just be unapologetically themselves at that age. Like
I
you've gone
think
through it. You've gone through it. You've gone through. I'm sorry, Trey. You've gone through a lot. You've probably gone through everything that you possibly could go through until, up until your tallywhacker start working. So, yeah,
I would say
Pause.
that
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy,
Yeah.
but I'll let you go.
of
Pause.
all the things said today, I get the pause at the end. Of all the things, I let y'all slide,
right.
bro. It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna get me a button. I'm gonna get
You
me a
gotta
button.
come and go. You gotta go and come back in.
Yeah.
I haven't pushed that button in a long time. I had to, right? It's been a long time. It's been a while.
It's always me though.
What you think from seeing outside, looking out in the world, man? What you think? Who you see as a little as happier, the older men or the older women? I say mature. I can't say old. I can say old, mature or old. I guess elderly. I guess one of them. Pick one.
I don't think either ways out. I think all people do. As you get older, you start to realize what is actually important to you. You know, whatever it is, whether it's finances, whether it's spirituality, whatever. Most of the time, as you develop, you realize what's more important to you, and you focus more on that. It does lead to happiness. I see a lot of men and women are more happier as they get older. Um, I've been seeing a lot less regrets. I talk to a lot of people, especially older people. Uh, I actually frequent a retirement community for work, and I talk to most of the men and women out there, and both of them are pretty much at peace, and they loving life. You know, like so. Let's see, men or women. I don't think it's neither. I think it's both.
Trey, I agree with you to that extent because if you talk to like the baby boom generation, like our mom's age and whatnot, like
Hmm.
yeah, those people, women and men of those ages tend to feel like I just said, they accept it. They don't have no regrets.
Hmm.
They know what's important. I guess I answered the question more so from women my age and compared to men my age. I think we're in our generation, men are happier than the women currently in our generation, and
Why you think that is?
that's the mid 30s.
Why you think
I,
that
I
is?
I just think a lot of women in our community are at that age where they're starting to understand that some of the things they did in their 20s wasn't as important. They're they're wanting to settle down now after they done had hot girl summers and all that. But a lot of them, a lot of them are realizing like some of the decisions they made weren't smart, and now they're trying to kind of reverse engineer themselves. But it's like kind of like when they present themselves and everything that they and their past and whatnot, it's not as attractive to a man our age that may have a lot going for him and whatnot.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I know I kind of pieced that together.
No, it makes sense. The only thing I would say to that is like you're 35, you still got time to figure it out, to find your peace or find what makes you happy, you know, and to be able to cope with whatever it is that you did, to not be able to regret it. So when you get in that older age, you'll be one of the ones that we was talking about, that, you know, happiness. I like with the only thing that I agree throughout that entire fiasco of a video was the guy said happiness is a byproduct of achievement. That's one of the things that I've been telling people, is happiness is not like a finite destination. Happiness happens from you progressively working towards something, no matter what it is. If it's something that you want, no matter how big, small, no matter how important, detrimental, no matter what it is, if it's something that you are working towards, you are actively working towards, that's where happiness is created. You know, like even with the consumer mentality, not to take it away from people, but most of the time I could tell you when I've had that consumer mentality, like, you know, the thrill of getting something on sale versus paying full price. A lot of the games that I bought, I ain't even played. Why is that? I got more excitement out of being able to get. It was the achievement. Like I said, I wanted to make this happen. I made it happen. It wasn't the act of playing the game. It was the act of getting the game. That was something that I was working towards. You know what I'm saying? So that created that flow of dopamine and all of that. Hope that example doesn't go askew. But happiness happens when you're actively working towards something. So if you're not happy, what are you working towards? What is it that you actually want? You know, and start. Don't fret from the work that it's going to take to get there. You know what I'm saying? And please don't be afraid of the shadow work. Do the inner work. If it's something about yourself, however you view outwardly is it's a reflection of your internal. So if you think the world is horrible, if you think there's no good men or women out here, if you think that, you know, nobody wants to settle down, if you think black men don't want black women, or black women don't want black men, if you think that is more divorce than marriage, if you think that, you know, the world is hell and it's in chaos, that's a reflection. It's not that you can't see that some bad things happen. I'm not going to take that away. I'm not naive, but it's a reflection of how you internally view things as well. So you become more peaceful, you become more happy when you work on yourself as well, you know? So make sure that you do some of the shadow work to get yourself out of that dark place, so that you can see things more clearly, see things more brightly.
Yeah. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, you correct. I think women are definitely, as they get older, they're not as happy as men. Not at all. Like I watch it. You know, ain't no. It's like one of the things that's like right in your face, but you don't be able to see it. I mean, especially now, there's some reason why they've been lied. Mostly women, these generation now, and the one before, they've been lied to, thinking that their happiness derived from the same things that men do. And as they get older, they realize it was all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It was all a lie. And now you seeing for some reason they getting this in vitro and trying to freeze eggs, like they done, like it's crazy. They're trying to freeze eggs, trying to get kids, trying to do all this stuff as they get older. They think that they're deriving their happiness from these careers like men do, but their happiness is two different things, man. He was correct, and Trey is right about that. You derive happiness from accomplishments. But that subheader, he should have said most of his accomplishments that men we thrive off of taking getting to next levels, accomplishing this, building this, doing that. I don't think that for the most part that's not where women's happiness come from, and they've been lied to think that that's where their happiness can come from too. That they can do the same thing, and then they think they'll get as happy as we do. And they may get a little happy. I wouldn't say that they get a little happy, but that's not their purpose, and we get more happiness from it from
Yeah.
build. I never been so happy when I worked 10, 12 hours, or me and Trey had used to work at FedEx. I never been more happy in my life to throw boxes around and be the knees is hurting and I'm tired and everything and I'm building something. I never felt so happy in my life because I was building, I was creating wealth, I was putting money here, I was doing that. And I don't think as a whole, I don't think women get that happiness from that. So over while the years go on and you realize you ain't got that last name that you had, or you ain't got that family or them kids that you wanted, and you're not as happy. I mean, everybody can contest to two, three of them aunties that you have in your family that never got married, and you see if they're lovely women. Let's just see if you think they're lovely women. They're most likely not. So I think you see that a lot, and not to say that ain't no unhappy men, but I think as a majority, if you look at both, and nah, I definitely think that the men
you
are
went
less
out this time,
happy.
G. Do you hear him, Keith?
I can hear G.
I tapped out.
Yeah,
No, I can hear
it
you,
did.
G.
It did on my side. My bad.
Okay, but that's what I think. I mean, that's all I got on the
You,
topic. I
you
just think as a whole, yeah, I think men as they get older, they're a little bit more happier than women as a
I
whole. I think
want
so.
to expand. I want to expand on that. So, what are because it seems like you said, women don't get the same happiness from the same things that men do. What are it seemed like that's more so like the work in physical labor. Was it more than just the physical aspect, the
I
way
I
they
think
think
work?
it's.
I think
I
what
think
G
it's.
was saying. Go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, G.
Go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
No, I think what G was trying to say, if you said happiness is a byproduct of accomplishment, then the accomplishments that women tend to gain happiness from is more so having kids and getting married and establishing that family, fulfilling that feminine role within themselves that they all have. But they're kind of been more. It's kind of been the propaganda has been more pushed to them that they're equal. They can do just what men do, and they've been sold that they can get happiness from working and achieving financially and whatnot, like all the stuff we get our happiness from.
No,
Am I
Yeah.
am I correct, G? Or
Yeah, that's
did
what
I
I
answer
was
you?
saying. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, so I should have put that buffer in there too. I think that we both get. I think you're right, Trey. We both get happiness from achievements, but our achievements is just different from theirs. I think we get more achievements and happiness from working and like building, like Trey said, and then they get happiness from achieving like maybe those relationships and the family and different type of stuff. So it's the same. It's achievements, but it's different achievements if you want to say that. So yeah. I would say that there's two different achievements.
I think that's it's two different achievements, but I don't think that's predicated on gender, because even me, like I'm just using me for example. I've been actively working on building my family tree and reconnecting my family, so to say. So it's like that's also an achievement too that I'm working towards. And like I can't put a gender on that, I can't say that if a woman did that, she'll be more happy than I am, you know, making some type of progress towards that. And I can't say that, they get less happiness from, financial gain. But I would say that we are capable of gaining more happiness from solely focusing on financial gain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like there's enough guys out here who like it doesn't matter. You got shitty character, baby daddy, you divorced several times, don't matter. I could get married again. I could afford it. You got enough money to do practically whatever it is that you
Hmm.
want. You know, they start like, I could buy you. You know what I'm saying? How much that pussy costs? You know what I'm saying? I would say that there's more guys that if you solely focus on financial gain, it could still give you a sense of happiness throughout your life. Than a female. I would say that. But I can't say that it's different because I know a lot of women who are financially well off as well, who are also working on the other areas that I spoke of. Like I told y'all, the setup here is make your money, then figure it out. And I can't take that away from. I can't put gender on that. You know what I'm saying? Like until a man is there, you're gonna have to take care of yourself. So you make your money and then figure it out. You know, that's kind of like the economy that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to elaborate, like, what's the different achievement?
But you didn't. But you elaborated on like 10 people. We have billions of people in the world. If you just say people around you, that's not really a debate or argument topic. If you just say, all right, the people around, I know a few girls that do this, so I can't say that. We have to sometimes speak in generalities. So I think I know some girls, yeah, too. They make 6 figures and they happy as I don't know what. They wonderful. But that doesn't deter from the majority of women that we see as a whole. So we can't go off of the minority over the majority. So I mean, I understand that, but I don't think as a whole, if you line up 100 women and 100 men, I guarantee there's more men that are in that age bracket that are happier than the women. I guarantee I put that on a whole bunch, especially with these women, and as also putting it as a majority. I guarantee the majority of women, they actually get happiness off of having a family. And no reason why exactly. It was always a saying that for some reason, if a woman was getting to that 27, 28 years old, and they're still doing it to this day, my grandma does it. They ask my sisters and my cousins, they 27, 28, they be like, why are you not married yet? What's going on? There's something wrong that's going on. And I guarantee if you ask any baby boomer that's an older woman, they'll stand the test and be like, yeah, a woman needs to be married. That's where she gets her happiness from. I guarantee that. There's no way they can't find a grandma that they ain't gonna say that. My grandma's always said that. I don't know about other people's grandmas. It's just me. So that's one thing. And
That's
maybe
not
because
the
of me.
majority.
And maybe that might be the minority. I think looking at some videos I've seen, it's always been old ladies always telling a woman, y'all need to go get yourself together. Y'all
Yeah,
chasing the wrong thing.
I get it. You know what I'm saying, but that is video, and I get the messaging behind it too. Like I get it. I ain't playing devil's advocate. It's just I can't give my majority and minority either because if we do go off of that, I am going more so because I don't indulge in this type of content, so I'm not seeing this on screen. You know, I'm more so I'm around, I'm out in the community. I'm out, I talk to a lot of people. It's not just the people that I see daily, like coworkers or, family. Is complete strangers all over everywhere. I talk to people, I don't mind having these types of conversations. I do pay attention. Um, and I can say that, I don't see it being the majority. Now, am I debating that creating families is a goal for women? That's not a debate. I will say that a lot of women want to have a family, want to have kids, want to have the father in the kid's life. I don't know nobody who's like, I'd rather just have a kid. I don't want the guy around. I don't know nobody that's like that. You know what I'm saying? So especially in today's age, that is an accomplishment to be able to create such a familial structure. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't take that away. Is the happiness predicated on that? No, I wouldn't say it's solely. I can't give it that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, bro. I think at some point biology you gotta look at biology, man. Like, yeah, say take a man like G just brought up the man at 40. Like, yeah, I can still have kids if I wanted to, and I'm coming into my financial prime as I'm doing it. So I ain't really tripping on that. I could do that right now if I wanted to. But a woman at 40, if she ain't had kids yet, she's thinking like, oh damn, I'm at the age where I ain't gonna be able to have no kids. Some women may not want kids, and some women have kids, but they're not with the father of that kid. But I can guarantee you, if you ask them, most of them probably would prefer to have kids with the man that they're going to be with for the rest of their
Absolutely.
lives. Like,
Absolutely.
so I don't know, man. I just don't see. I don't know a lot of women that will be 40 and just like, well, I'm fine with not having kids. Like, there are women out there, but I don't know too many of them. Like,
I feel what you're saying.
even within the people we know, like, I don't think there's too many women that would say, no, I'm good on kids.
I feel what you're saying. But when you bring that up, that, and I know we didn't emphasize like single man, single woman, but it kind of like singled it out as the argument went on, and like the arguments brought up like separation, and it automatically like went into that. So that's where my mind went, was like the single man at the older age and the single woman at an older age. What you described is them already having their person. Like, I don't see nobody with a person that they are already committed to building with, not wanting, like, to continue building in whatever fashion, especially familial. I don't see that being like, you know what I mean? So I would say that is both of their goal, right? Because it's gonna take both of us to raise this kid.
All right, let me not take this out of context. Yes, if I'm with my woman, the person I want to be with the rest of my life, I would want to have kids. I would want to have kids with her.
Mm-hmm.
But my happiness is not going to just be from having kids. My happiness, and this is gonna sound strange, my happiness is going to come from what I can provide for my kid, to the point where they don't have to go through the struggles and what I went through, to give them a leg up.
I feel
And
you.
being a productive member of society, and eventually becoming having productive families themselves and keeping that pattern going for generations. Like, that's where my happiness would come from, not just
I feel,
having a kid.
I feel you. Now, another thing that was elaborated in the video was the guy said that your happiness is solely based on you. It's not based on anyone else. So if your
Facts.
unhappiness is on you, so that's a
That's a big fact.
it's admirable. But your kids are going to be your kids. Are going to be their own person. What if your kid, even if you instilled it in them, marriage, discipline, all of the teachings, you grew up with man and woman in the household. What if you instilled it in them and they said, you know what, I just don't want to do the whole married thing with children? Would you be unhappy? No, you still gonna be like, you can be like, that's fucked up. It might affect you a little bit, but you still gonna rely on you for your happiness. That ain't gonna be like, I can't be happy for the rest of my life because now what I instilled in you, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the response that I get all the time when I tell parents this. They be like, all I want to see is my kid graduate. All I want to see is my kid. As long as my kid good, I'm good. That's the same thing as happy wife, happy life. It doesn't work that way. You have to put it on you. Your happiness relies on you. If you relying on another person, like I said, like, no parent ever said my son is going to be the best tattoo artist out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal for my son. It's always doctor, lawyer, business. You know what I'm saying? And we have so much more that you could do or you could become, but that's dependent upon the person. So if your happiness is predicated on what somebody else is going to do and how somebody else's life unfolds, then I don't see that as true happiness. Now, can it add to your happiness? Sure. My wife makes me happy, but it's because I allow her to. I make her happy. It's because she allows me to. The things that I do, added on to her. But if she was in an unhappy state, regardless of what I do, she's still going to be an unhappy person. You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Makes sense, man. Look at that, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. We got the realest podcast out here on the network everywhere, man. Y'all gotta stop playing around out here, man. Listen, I don't know what else I can say.
Hey, before we go, I want to debunk some things that this lady said in the goddamn video. They said, "Man, we judge ourselves on our wallet." Nah, we do that because women judge us on our wallet. Men are,
cause and effect.
Yeah,
she said, "Men are not responsible for a woman's happiness." No, we are not, but we are a key ingredient. I think we as men are a key ingredient in that byproduct, that attributes to their happiness.
Yeah, they ain't no such. Listen, bro. This is always the same. Old head told me this back in Brooklyn Park in Northside.
HP.
He told me as a young boy. Man. He said, bro, it's impossible to make a woman happy, bro. It's impossible. He said impossible. I said impossible, OG. He said impossible. I said, all right, I understand it when I was, a young man at 16, 17 years old. As I've gotten older, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make a woman happy. It's impossible. I mean, you have to make herself happy. Even if you try to make herself happy, she's gonna find a way not to be happy. It's impossible. It is not because it's because they do it on purpose. It's just the hormones and the emotions and all that. You ain't gonna be able to make no woman happy. Just leave her alone. How about you just make them comfortable? How about that?
Boom.
About happiness and try to make.
Okay,
there you go.
I can't make them but so comfortable.
We preaching today. I'm gonna shout out Regal Sunflower. She said, "If you are the main ingredient, are you prepared to always be needed to make her happy?" Boom. I put that out there because that's it. Like what I told y'all, I like being missed. I like being wanted. I don't like being needed.
I said, see, I'm breaking down this is why words matter. I said the main ingredient in the byproduct. The byproduct is what makes her happy. She needs the byproduct. We just the main ingredient. So she just needs a sprinkle of me. She don't need me all the time. That probably don't make sense, but I'm just trying to escape out of this question right now. I get what she's saying, and I respect it.
Yeah.
I don't think I meant it in a way that I'm needed like all the time. She just needs a sprinkle of me, and then it can flow from there. Like, but I don't have to be there 100% of the time. And Timekeeper G getting restless, so let's wrap this.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we be rolling on these podcasts. Sometimes we gotta give them short. Yeah, that was crazy. I'm about to say something wild. That was wild. I'm about to say short and quick.
Hey, hit the button on yourself.
That was wild. I did, bro. My big man.
That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. But I'll let you go. Pause.
It was wild. That was a wild one. Yeah.